Clock out, come home, and drink away. To bash and burn the weekly plays. Douchey calls and sweaty balls, this is Scotch Sporting.
I gotta put the finger guns in real tight because this camera's tighter. Tight cameras. Zing.
So I thought Diet Coke and Coke Zero were the same thing.
They are definitely not the same thing.
But why? So the point of Diet Coke is here's Coke.
Right.
And we're making it sugar-free.
We're making it sugar-free and I believe also calorie-free.
They're both. Diet Coke and Coke Zero is also calorie-free.
And the funny thing is like when they brought out Coke Zero, they're like, "Hey, it's Coke Zero sugar," and it's like, Diet Coke standing there like, "What the fuck about me, bro?"
I think people were looking for something that didn't taste like Diet Coke because they didn't like the taste of Diet Coke,
and that's why I went to Coke Zero because I hate the diet.
Coke taste vastly different from Coke.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. It's like two different products.
Not to sound like I hope people listening, I'm not some kind of, Amish Mormon Plathville person. Dark colas tend to give me headaches, so I have not had them since I was probably 10. So I genuinely don't know what they taste like. So I will just say that for my childlike wondrous questions. What does Coke Zero taste like? Is it now a third taste, or is it close to tasting like regular Coke?
It's a third taste, but it is closer to real Coke than
Diet Coke.
Yeah,
because it was my understanding when it came out, Coke was like, "Hey, we done fucked up with Diet Coke, but people like it, so we can't take it off the market. So here's a third thing that tastes more like it's the same thing, but we fucked up the first one."
So I'll tell you this: when I did keto a few years ago, remember when I lost all that weight and now I've put it all back on?
You look great.
And anyways, so when I went on, I stopped drinking pop altogether. I went completely water for probably about 2 months where I didn't have any pop. So when I'm like, I had that, I need to have a pop. I need something carbonated. So I went and I got Coke Zero. And that first Coke Zero, if you told me it was a Coke, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference because I'd been off so long. And as soon as I tasted it, I'm like, oh, this is literally just as good as regular Coke. And it tricked me. And then even now I can still drink Coke Zero and be like, oh, this is still satisfying to me because it's still, but it's
like
not
me with my water root beer.
Right, but it's not Dr. Pepper and cream soda. Come on, focus.
Winning combo.
There it is. Come on, you can focus. God damn this camera. Well, I won't focus,
I love cream soda.
Cream soda is the best.
Okay, so I found two things when I Googled why does Coke Zero exist.
Okay.
His Coke Zero was Coca-Cola's largest product launch in 22 years. It's marketed as having a taste that is indistinguishable from standard Coca-Cola.
Right.
As opposed to Diet Coke, which is a different flavor profile. And then I found on a Reddit message board, Diet Coke was created back when artificial sweeteners weren't as plentiful as they are today. Coca-Cola engineers couldn't find a way to create a zero-calorie version of Coke. So they said, screw it, and just made a zero-calorie cola that doesn't taste anything like Coke and named Diet Coke. 20 years later, they finally advanced the science of artificial sweeteners to the point where they could meet their original goal, a zero-calorie soda that actually tastes like Coke.
Yes. And again, like I said, when I stopped drinking Coke or any pop products, and then when I went back and had a Coke Zero, I'm like, oh, I literally can't tell the difference.
They didn't want to alienate their market base by just totally re-releasing Diet Coke with this new flavor, so they released it as a separate drink, Coke Zero. Since Diet Coke was culturally seen as a ladies' drink, pause for Dave, he's busy, they didn't want to cannibalize their own market, so they aimed at Coke Zero's marketing campaign at young men.
Is that sexist?
Yes, but it's sexist. That's how inherent and systemic sexism is in.
Right. Like Like, it's sexist to be like, well, only ladies would want a drink with no sugar in it. Manly men want drinks with sugar.
Men want sugar and want to beat people. So I was like, it seems like I was right where it's like we done fucked up with Diet Coke, and now science is better. Here's Coke Zero. When I worked in theater before I worked in television, and one of my jobs was I managed the theater at a bar, and I managed the bar. And we had Mill Street sort of woo us to serve Mill Street at our bar. And we went to Mill Street and did a tour and did tastings and everything. And what I learned was Mill Street Organic is their light beer. But they did marketing and discovered that if you call it light beer, men won't drink it.
Right. Because manly men don't drink anything light. We only drink heavy.
Yeah.
So they've called it organic.
Interesting.
To not put off
hilarious.
Men from drinking Mill Street Organic. It's actually their like Michelob Ultra.
So I'll give you guys a tip about Coke versions of Coca-Cola. They make a version of Coca-Cola with stevia sweetened instead of...
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
It is fucking awful. Don't ever drink it. It is the worst tasting thing I've ever had in my life.
How do you tell? Is it a certain packaging?
Yes, there's like a green...
Oh, yes, that's right. The green one.
Yeah.
So the can's still red, but there's like a green stripe around the top or something. I don't know. And it'll say very clearly, Coke with stevia. Don't ever fucking get it. I bought it in a pinch because there was no Coke Zero at any fucking place. Like, this was in the middle of the pandemic, right? And I went to every grocery store in the area. No one had Coke Zero. And so I'm like, fuck, I need something. So I just got the stevia. And this, of course, was also before I had the SodaStream.
They all have caffeine, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm getting Coke Zero because it's decaf.
No. You're getting it because it has 0 calories and 0 sugar, and technically will help you lose weight.
Is Dr. Pepper a fun thing?
At least not.
Or does Pepsi own Dr. Pepper?
No, it's distributed by Pepsi in Canada, but in the States, it's distributed by Coke. It's its own independent thing.
Yeah, it's independent.
Okay, so with SodaStream doing the deal with Pepsi, will you guys be able to get Dr. Pepper syrup in Canada?
Fingers crossed.
I would definitely buy SodaStream for that.
Here's my noob question again. I get migraines from artificial sweeteners, and also go fuck yourself, stevia. You are a chemical and you hurt my head. All this like, have you tried stevia? It's natural. I have. It hurts.
Yeah.
You can fucking tell in the taste, and please don't try and trick me otherwise and be like, it's from plants. Don't care. It still gives me a migraine. So I don't usually drink dark colas, except root beer seems to be fine, and I don't do artificial sweeteners. So with you guys both like Dr. Pepper, is it the same? Is diet versions of other colas the same like jump in taste?
Yeah, diet.
Yeah.
I've
had
diet
versions.
It's never as good, but I've had Diet Dr. Pepper. I did that a few times when I was on keto, and it satisfied that I need that Dr. Pepper flavor. It didn't, it's not perfect, but it was like in a pinch, it worked. But I couldn't if I was going, oh, this is my drink now. Coke Zero was my drink while I was trying to.
But if I blindfolded you guys and I lined up like, here's a Dr. Pepper, here's a Diet Dr. Pepper, you could tell. And I know artificial sweetener for me at least has that like tinny aftertaste.
Yep.
So that's the tell, but is truly the flavor of the cola different?
Yes.
That's a good question, because I don't think that a Diet Dr. Pepper is that different flavor-wise. I think the dead giveaway is that tin.
That aftertaste?
That tin aftertaste.
So what I think I'd do with you guys the next time we hang out, IRL.
I love it.
Is I'll do a taste test with the sodas, and then I'll do a taste test like with a mixer. I'll give you guys like a rum and what do you drink with Dr. Pepper?
There is something that you mix with Dr. Pepper.
Mark, I'll make some kind of like sexy mocktail for you.
What do you mix with a Dr. Pepper?
I can't remember. I know there's something, but
I know Coke with what's that sweet liqueur?
Di Serono?
No.
I'm out of ideas now.
Called. It begins with an A.
Amaretto?
That's the one. Yeah. So coconut amaretto gets you that almost Dr. Pepper taste.
It actually does. I've had that. Yes, it does.
So I wanna give you guys just straight up.
Yeah.
And then I'll mix it with something to see if that tinny after, like
If
maybe
it
booze
kills
will
it.
cut
Yeah,
kill that aftertaste.
And then there you go. You just drink Diet Dr. Pepper mixed with booze,
And then you're fine.
and everybody wins.
Everybody wins. Okay, this is very fascinating because I don't drink it, but we only have Diet Coke in our house.
Right.
But Dave's also diabetic, so that's a big one.
Part of it.
But he needs a sweet caffeine boost.
So why does they not drink Coke Zero then? Has he tried it? Or
He hates Coke Zero.
Yeah, no, I know
Really?
people. I know other people
Hates it.
who if you're used to Diet Coke,
Yeah.
it is a very different flavor.
But it's funny. I think it goes this way, but not that way. So we have a friend. I think Dave's probably playing games with him right now, who drinks Coke Zero. But if he comes over and he's out of Coke Zero, he's a big rum and Coke guy. If he's out of Coke Zero, he'll have one of Dave's Diet Cokes.
With rum,
And
I'd have a Diet Coke with rum. Yeah.
And I know people that will, if they're Coke Zero drinkers, they'll drink a Diet Coke if they have to.
Yeah.
But Diet Coke drinkers, go fuck yourself if you offer them a Coke Zero.
My boss is a Diet Coke person, and we were at a keg in it was either Vancouver or Calgary, I can't remember which one. And he orders, like, we order all the food, and then he goes, "Oh, do you guys have Diet Coke?" And the guy's like, "Oh no, we only have Coke Zero." And he's like, he's like, "All right, I'll just have water." The fucking waiter went to a convenience store across the street and bought a Diet Coke and brought it back.
Did he get a big tip afterwards?
I mean, our bill was like $1,300.
I was going to say, people that did drink water usually don't tip well, so that's what he was probably thinking.
Yeah, and he did all right. He did all right.
Yeah, Dave is the same. Dave will drink if it's Diet Coke or Coke Zero. If it's Coke Zero or nothing, Dave will choose nothing.
Right.
And he is someone who, like, if he doesn't have a Diet Coke one day, he gets really excited. Then the next day when he gets to have I haven't had a Diet Coke in a day. He will still do nothing over a Coke Zero.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, well, look at everything we'll talk about to avoid once again talking about soccer. I think we did this last time.
That's true.
That we had a big soccer story to talk about. It's like, oh god, let's avoid this for a while, and especially because we don't have Tyler with us today. But we'll try and do our best. But then we had some late breaking sort of Canadianity stuff, so we wanted to talk about that too. And the baby's not on my lap. He is asleep.
I can't believe it. We are also jinxing it right now.
We are jinxing it. It is a Wednesday.
It's like a no-hitter. We should not be talking about it.
So we are doing, I don't know, Chris, if you did this with any of your kids, like a dream feed.
No.
So to try and it's a new fucking trendy thing, but whatever. My sister-in-law, I don't think she listens to the podcast. Bless her, told me about this dream feeding, and it works. But Rowan seems to wake up earlier for it. So you put the baby to bed, and then 2 hours to 3 hours after you've put them to bed, you scoop them up while they're still asleep. You shove a bottle in their mouth, and they'll usually eat it.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's
then you
good.
get usually another. That's what stretches out the night.
That's beautiful.
So, and I'm reading the literature on it, and it's like you fill the tank throughout the day, and then this is like topping up the tank so he can last the night without food.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So if we put him down, let's say at 8, or 8:30, which we did, he goes 2 hours. He stays asleep while we shove a bottle in his mouth.
Yeah.
And then he sleeps another like 5.5 to 6 hours right now.
And
we're looking to stretch that, and then he eats more and then sleeps another like 4 hours. It's fantastic so far.
That sounds great.
But what he has been doing is going to bed, waking up screaming for food within 45 minutes, and then still doing his dream feed. So he's just a hungry hippo.
Yeah.
He's a growing boy. Teething. He's teething, so we did give him a bit of baby Tylenol tonight. Yeah. So I think that probably explains why he's currently out.
Yeah,
he's doing he has the little flap of gum is gone on his gum. Yeah. His cheeks are red and rashy.
Poor little guy.
drooling everywhere, whining for no reason.
Oh, that's the worst. I forgot about the drool. It just like pours out of their mouth. It's so gross.
Well, so I've always, he's kind of been a bit drooly, so I've always kept a bandana on him, and Dave will always take it off. But lately, he's like, "Oh God, no, we need to leave this on now." This is, bleh. He just eats every. I do little baby mommy and me music class,
Right.
and this is our third or fourth week, and this week he just ate the toys.
Nice.
He usually holds them and kind of like grooves along the way babies do, but this week it was just
right in the mouth.
In his mouth. Oh, hold on. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Dave's playing Fall Guys, so I don't trust him to notice when the babies.
Of course. All guys, very, very intense.
They're back into it. I feel like have you guys played the free game? It looks like it's Among Us, but for PlayStation.
No.
It's called like First Class. It was a Steam game, and it was apparently really popular.
Yeah.
The identity game. Yeah, I still haven't downloaded it.
It's called First Class. I tried it, but I think it's as good as like Jason, and it's as good as the people you play with, and everyone needs a microphone, or it's so stupid.
Yeah. That's
because I like Among Us, but I like Among Us when you are playing with friends and you could talk to people.
You need to be able to talk to people. It's the whole game. The best way to make Among Us better, there's a hot tip for everybody if you don't know this tip. When you play Among Us, don't have names on your character. You just put a letter. So like I'm A, you're B, you're C, and change the letter every game. So that way it's not, oh, it's dad, oh, it's mom, oh, it's, because we played with the family a bunch of times. This way, when it's just a letter, you can't focus in on who it is. So it just adds a more random,
cool.
And then
especially
you don't
with
know.
You guys, it's always fucking like Lindsay with Hitler.
Exactly. Oh, right. Or it's always everyone gangs up on dad. There's no ganging up because you don't know who's letter D.
Secret Hitler.
Right. Oh, it's the best.
We used to call it Secret Heather because my friend Heather was always Hitler every time. And we'd always accuse her and she'd get really mad, but then it always ended up being her.
It's the best.
Her and Lindsay should get together.
Yeah.
But who would be Hitler?
They would just both be fascist all night.
I don't know, Mark, if you played with us during the pandemic, but we got into Avalon.
I did. I played Avalon before, though, with Christian.
If you like Secret Hitler, and I think Avalon came first.
Avalon, it's the same as the Resistance, right?
It is the
Avalon
Resistance.
came after Resistance, yeah.
It's that, but with better elements, I think.
Yeah, because you can, even if you lose at the end, you can still win by killing, I think, Merlin, right?
Oh.
Yeah, and you go on quests, though, and it's like, you tank quests. And it helps people figure out, like, if I'm evil, I can take you guys all on this quest with me, tank it, and no one knows who voted against it.
Right, except when me and Jeremy both go on, and we both fail the mission.
Fail the mission.
And it's just the two of us.
Yeah. I love when that happens because the evil people can't talk, and it's kind of like subtle, like, okay, who's going to tank it? They're taking both of us. And it's like, oh, fuck. Well, game's over, guys. Okay, well, we've done our part to avoid talking about soccer. Chris did a great job with our subject heading. So we'll start with the Scotch Sporting lead off because it isn't about soccer. Man, this is great. So please check us out on YouTube because Chris does a lovely job with titling our subject. So we have tests in Turkey. Senators did the thing. OBJ puts the L in LA. Our Rodgers bills are going up, and CFL is better than the NFL.
No. Just CFL does not equal NFL. That's not better than. Yeah, that just does not equal. Yeah.
Better though. Are the Tigers going to be in the playoffs?
They are going to be in the playoffs, but
whether it's going to be a home playoff game or not, that's the question.
We'll find out on Saturday.
Did anyone on this podcast predict the halftime show, or that was just Gabe?
No. I think we've been saying all season. It's like, it's got to be the Arkells. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Has to be the Arkells.
Yeah.
But then who's going to do it next year?
Oh, what when they host the real Grey Cup?
Yeah.
I don't know. They'll probably get someone big. Like, I mean, the Arkells are big,
Canadian big.
Right, Canadian big. But I'm saying we're gonna get someone like big, like Drake,
like One Republic level.
No, like
Fall
we're gonna
Boy
get
did it a couple years ago. That was pretty cool.
Huh?
Oh God, that was too soon.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Wow. he is gonna get
Oh yeah.
sued
Oh god, yeah.
for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because apparently he kept going.
Oh, yeah.
He sure did.
I sent you guys that tweet.
Yeah, that video.
Saying, stop the show. Stop the show.
Yeah. He didn't
Well,
care.
apparently the A$AP Rocky was also on stage and stopped his show.
Oh man.
What I loved was around that time, all the TikToks that I saw were like other bands stopping shows when shit was happening.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, I don't get it.
Oof. Okay.
All right.
So I think we have other sad things to talk about. Okay. So tests in Turkey. So the NFL is ramping up testing because U.S. Thanksgiving is coming up next week. I believe they will be doing double testing, mandatory mask wearing for all players and staff while inside the club. They're going to have surveillance cameras in team facilities for the purpose of enforcing COVID-19 protocols. The memo said the league will be periodically reviewing the surveillance cameras.
Big Brother is watching.
Pretty much.
Is this the Aaron Rodgers rule?
Yeah, well, we'll get there. So the NFL Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Alan Sills, says that this one was huge. 81 players and staff members have tested positive for COVID during the latest testing period, which is October 31st to November 13th. That's just 2 weeks. The highest caseload of the season. And compare that to September 5th through October 30th, where 97 players and staff tested positive. So almost the same amount in 2 weeks as tested positive in 2 months.
Right.
But apparently that is reflective of the communities that these teams are playing in, as I think we touched on last week. So I think there is a lot to unpack. My questions for you guys is, is this the Aaron Rodgers rule? It's lols. Okay, so you're going to be videoing to make sure people are following protocols. We have video of Aaron Rodgers not following protocols, so I don't know where his punishment is. I don't know if that's coming.
He got fined.
He got fined.
Yeah, he got
fined.
fined.
$15,000.
He got fined for that party.
Right.
He got fined for going to that Halloween party. He didn't get fined for all of his
Or the breaking of protocol.
Gotcha.
The breaking protocols the entire season. So there's that. Will we see any punishments now that there's going to be surveillance videos? And then my second question is, with these numbers going up, they're going up. They said in the article they're going up because they're testing more, which obviously. So
well,
do you think
what did Trump say?
to stop testing? So do you think we will see an outbreak after U.S. Thanksgiving, gentlemen?
Yes. I mean, listen, like cases are spiking as is, right? So and we're not immune to it. Cases are up here as well. So I think that, and I think this is a good move by the NFL, because you see that you see what's happening, and you're taking steps and measures.
And this is usually the season where it gets worse, right? So,
and it's like the idea of, hey, maybe just don't see family this Thanksgiving is just so out of the realm of possibility that
Right.
like we all had to go through 2 years ago. This year, I think we all saw people on holidays, but the fact that these athletes with $1 bajillion can't go one Thanksgiving without seeing friends and family that they're so worried about infecting. So super quick, what team will have the most players getting COVID from this and from the holiday, and will we see anybody fined as the result of Big Brother?
Oh, yes, we'll see a fine. Worst team is going to be, oh man, I don't even know. I'm going to say like, Florida's too easy. But I don't know. Yeah, I'll go with like Jacksonville.
Mark?
I'll go Cowboys.
And will we see anyone fined?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say fines. And I'm going to say the Packers. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, well, speaking of the thing, Chris, I don't know if you have the button ready.
Oh, that one?
Fucking Ottawa Senators.
Indiana Jones when I see that every time.
Wait, it's the Indiana Jones font.
Indiana Jones writing. So the Ottawa Senators have done the thing. At least 10 players are sidelined, making 3 games postponed.
That's worse than the Sharks. Yes, the Sharks are the worst at getting COVID.
At least the Sharks played the game and won.
Right. That's right.
So everyone's vaccinated, but they talked to Michael Del Zotto, and he was shocked at how quickly it went through their system. Drake Batherson became the 10th senator to join the COVID-19 protocol, joining teammates Austin Watson, Nick Holden, Josh Brown, Connor Brown, Dylan Gramble, Matt Murray, Victor Met, Alex Formanton, and Nikita Zaitsev, all along with assistant coach Jack Cupano, all remain on the protocol as of Wednesday. So this is the first time in the NHL that games are being postponed. Do you see more games happening? And how do you guys feel about postponing the game? So I'll just get to the Del Zotto quote. The decision to postpone caught him by surprise. He said, "We would have kept battling. It is what it is. I was under the impression at the start of the year, no matter what, we wouldn't be postponing games. To be honest, I was a bit shocked, especially as late into it." What do you guys think about postponing games and not just like, fuck it, you guys were stupid. You have to play.
I mean, for me,
not the players with COVID. Sorry, I just want to be clear on that.
Yeah, you just mean the team plays. For me, 10's a lot. That's the thing. 10 is a lot. If the Sharks was 7, they were still able to fill the team. I think 10. That's what, more than half or almost half the roster.
Yeah.
So you just, it's like, but do you guys not think it should be okay then if you can't field the team, then you forfeit the games?
L's. I mean, that's the way I would do it. But
they have to worry about the paying customers as well. It's like they bought tickets for this. Hey,
I was just about to say, I can hear Mark in the voice that he does going, the monies.
Well, the monies. I mean, but hang on a second. Would anybody even notice since nobody's at those fucking games?
Toronto fans that bought tickets and drove the 4 hours to Ottawa would definitely.
And those games, they weren't necessarily in Ottawa. It's just, I think 2 were road games, New Jersey and Rangers.
Oh, okay. So those teams definitely want their money.
Yeah, they want, especially the Rangers.
Maybe not New Jersey, okay, so Chris's pièce de résistance, his chef's kiss of titles. OBJ puts the L in LA. He hadn't signed with the Rams, but the last podcast, right?
No,
so this was new.
Yeah, he said he wanted to go to a winner. That was our.
So my first question is going to be: are you guys shocked? Because apparently it was kind of down to no. I don't think anyone had the Rams on the radar.
No,
everyone
because they didn't need them.
Exactly. Everyone was thinking Green Bay. Well, they need him now. Everyone was thinking Green Bay, where he'd be wide receiver 2, but he went to LA where he'd be 2.5 at best.
3 at best, I would say.
So are you guys surprised that he went to LA? And then they started him last week because there were some injuries, and we joked that his dad put a hit out on people to get his son playing time. I thought it was a little bit gimmicky that they threw to him first.
He gave up on the play. Did you see that? It was awful.
Yeah. And then kind of never again. So then my second question is, was that an anomaly? Will they use him?
Oh God,
better next week.
Oh yeah. Once he learns to play,
no. Start the clock.
Okay, there you go. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, once he learns the playbook and knows where to go, then he'll get familiarized with the system, and plus he'll probably take over Woods' spot now that's available.
Now that Woods is done for the season.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what he wanted. He wanted a contender. Now he's on a contender. The contender that got the shit smashed out of them by a garbage 49ers team.
Hey, Niners beaten them 5 straight times now. Kyle owns Sean McVay.
That's crazy.
And last year the Niners had 2 different quarterbacks win games for them against the Rams.
And that's the thing. It's a division game, right? Division games are always different. So
yeah, because you know your opponent so well. You get familiar with some of the looks you get.
Yeah.
So are you guys surprised that he went to LA in general?
Well, yeah. Before.
Well,
I mean.
Yeah, you're right.
Before
before the injury, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Now that the injury happens, it makes nothing but sense.
Clock out.
Yeah, and I guess as a man of color, I can only imagine the draw towards a city like Los Angeles compared to Green Bay, Wisconsin,
which is
I have had the pleasure of being to. It is exceptionally white, and one of the major highlights is a Target that I went to.
Nice. And how far is it from Kenosha?
Right?
Right?
Yeah, it's a very small town.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing there. Aside from, we had to stay half an hour away to stay in a hotel. Like,
That's
there's
insane.
legitimately nothing in Green Bay.
That's why they just buy shares of the team as a sports collectible
What
and
a
nothing else.
what a ridiculous thing.
I will, just while we're talking about football, we'll very briefly mourn Dave's survivor pool. Mark, I know you were out a while ago.
I was out last week.
Oh, I thought you were out earlier.
Who did you have
Dave,
last week?
Freaking Cowboys who got smoked by the Broncos.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Not to one up, I don't want to discount your feelings, Mark, because they're valid, and just because our feelings are worse doesn't discount yours. Dave got out on that Steelers game.
Oh no!
Even though I told him not to, because he sent me a message. He's like,
no.
"Do you like the Falcons or the Cowboys the Steelers?" I'm like, I don't like either teams. I'm taking the other teams that cover the spread.
Yeah. So
it was a tie. To get knocked out on a tie, not even a loss.
Not even a loss. Oh my god.
So he and his buddy they do it together. They'd been locked in on Pittsburgh, and then when Roethlisberger was out, I was like, I wouldn't maybe think about changing this now.
Yeah.
He's like, no, and he gave me his logic, and I was like, okay, I guess, like, there's better times to take. I think he was thinking about Tennessee. I was like, there might be better times to take the Titans. Okay, sure. Watching it with him, and I am one of those people that laughs when things are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was pretty much just laughing hysterically the entire fourth, because it was also, I don't have a dog in the fight. Having thousands of dollars into our house would have been lovely, but I didn't put the $100 in to be in this thing.
He must have a small glimmer of hope when they missed that kick in overtime, the Lions.
It was, and he got so mad at me, Dave did, because I felt so awful for that kicker.
Yeah.
This poor guy is like, no one has any hope for you.
The worst kick I've ever seen in my life.
You're this guy who hasn't played since like 2018, and he looked sad too with his wispy little mustache.
It was the worst kick,
and he just looked dejected when he missed it.
Yeah.
But it just, neither team seemed, so many stupid things happened in that game. Like, they'd make an improbable catch and fumbled it right away.
No team wanted to win that game. They both were like, hey, let's lose today. And the football gods were like, no, you get a tie.
Dave came running downstairs when I was like, safety. And it didn't end up being a safety. They got the ball back, but then immediately fumbled it. And then right at the buzzer, I forget who it was, made this like beautiful sideline catch.
And then fucking fumbled
it immediately.
I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe it. Because I'm like, if they get Crosby in place to make the kick, then it's good to go.
Crosby, it would be Boswell.
Boswell, that's right. I don't know why I said Crosby.
One of the other like guys that's pretty much a sure, as much as he can be a sure thing.
Although this year Crosby's been pretty bad. He's missed like 5.
Who's Crosby kick for? Ooh.
Packers.
Packers, that's right.
He missed 2 kicks that one game, remember?
But for me, it wasn't that last play, and I don't know if it was Najee Harris. I thought it was another rookie who also made a brilliant catch, ran up the sidelines, but cut in towards midfield when he could have just run out of bounds, and cutting in allowed the Detroit defense to come in and legitimately punch the ball out of his hands. Yep. And when that play happened, I was like, this isn't going to end well for us.
Nope.
Well, at least the Lions can say we're not going to finish 0-17.
Correct.
Exactly.
Way to go, Lions.
Small wins.
Okay, so we'll get to the next thing. Our Rodgers bills are probably going up. The Blue Jays re-signed Jose Barrios to a 7-year deal. This is the longest term, most money since Vernon Wells, but less money than George Springer on an annual basis. I think it's pretty good.
It's a good deal. It's under $20 million a year.
He's 27 years old, so he'll still be in his mid-30s when the contract ends. And apparently the big score of this is he will still be under contract while Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero are.
Right.
So if the Blue Jays, and we'll get to this with their deep dive, if they can't re-sign their other starting pitchers, it's like, okay, we got one.
Yeah.
So do you guys think this is a key enough piece to pay this much for? And is he a blue chip? Is he something you want to build your team around?
He was a blue chip prospect coming up with the Twins. and he proved that he can be an ace starter with the Twins, and he can do the same thing here. And the Jays gave up, a significant prospect to get him, so it's nice that they were able to save him or
to
sign
keep him
long-term.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
To make that sacrifice or the trade worthwhile. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think this is any indication that they're going to open their pocketbooks for other players?
Absolutely.
I think the pocketbook's wide open. It's not like Rodgers
Especially when
can't
you still
afford
have
it.
Bichette, Guerrero is still under control.
Yeah.
Salary wise, spend the money.
I think it said until 2025. So I'm looking at 2 players, and I'm like, I will spend whatever I need to jump on this window for the next 4 years.
Yeah. This team needs to be in the playoffs for the next 4 or 5 years for sure. Like
And most of this money
every
will be
year,
spent
I'm
for
talking
Pittsburgh.
about.
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking
all this
about
money is
once. I'm talking about they need to be contending for the next 5 years.
Well, this will be interesting as part of our deep dive. So the CFL is not the NFL.
Correct.
So Nate Hawley was the rookie of the year when he played with the Calgary Stampeders. He had a cup of coffee then in the NFL and was set to come back with the Toronto Argonauts, but the CFL declined to tender his contract.
Correct.
Because it went against their violence against women policy. So we don't have too much, I think, to debate about, but I do want to talk about it. So maybe start the clock now. I did just want to bring it up because we talk about so much shit on this podcast of things leagues do wrong. This is something that a league has done right.
Yeah. No, they have this rule in place, and this is it being exercised, and that's fantastic. Putting.
But
Go ahead.
Oh no, you first. Go ahead.
But putting like morals ahead of the game, ahead of money.
But
it's a pass fail too. There's no like.
Yeah. Did he do something else though? So back when he was in college, he was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and kidnapping, presumably of a woman or girlfriend, hence the violence against women. That was in college though, and he played a year with the Stamps.
Right, and maybe that wasn't known to the CFL, like to the league at the time.
So this isn't a new incident. It's like once it became known to them, they're like, no.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I looked at like news, and I couldn't see anything about specifics on what had happened.
And I think the charges were dropped. Hold on. In early November 2016, Hawley was charged with felony kidnapping and assault. He was immediately suspended by the NCAA and released by Kent State Golden Flashes. Did we know that was a team?
No.
The Golden Flashes. In February 2017, 3 months after being charged, Hawley was found not guilty. So charges weren't dropped. He was just found not guilty.
Okay.
So also good for the CFL, because you know how the NFL's like, we're going to, with fucking Deshaun Watson, like we're going to wait and see how.
It's just going to go away.
See how the court, the court rules, like it's not a criminal matter. This guy was found not guilty, and the CFL is still like, no, we don't.
He still stinks.
Yeah.
We don't want him.
And to me, this sounds like maybe there is something more because.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to be like, oh, not guilty. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't have a ton of time for our deep dives because
we were shooting the shit. Well, let's do the baseball one first.
Okay, so the baseball one is Robbie Ray. Breaking news after I posted our show notes. Robbie Ray has won the Cy Young. And brief humble brag. Dave put $1 on him back at the All-Star break, and we are now $81 richer.
There you go.
So, Mark, I don't know, Mark, did you have money on him?
I did, but much later, though. I got him when he was, like, I think, plus 450. So nowhere near your plus 810, I think it was.
Yeah, so I wouldn't go, I mean, record scratch. I don't know if I would go ahead and buy a Robbie Ray jersey. So Robbie Ray has won the Cy Young, and that is amazing. This is the first Blue Jay in almost 20 years to have won the Cy Young, Roy Halladay being the last. I think it was in 2003.
Back with Roger Clemens, eh?
The only 2 years he spent with the Jays.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when he started getting to the.
Well, that was the HGH years, right?
That's the I misremembered. So the Blue Jays have won.
Pat Henkin was the year before that. So the Jays had won 3 years ago.
Yeah, the Blue Jays won 4. Cy Youngs. This will be the 5th. They won 96 with Pat Henkin, 97 and 98 with Roger Clemens, 2003 with Roy Halladay, and now 2021 with Robbie Ray. It's worth you guys going through the rosters, because I always say that like 96 to maybe 2005 were the very dark years of being a Blue Jay fan.
Yeah, they were pretty dark.
And to remember, oh my God, there were 4 Cy Youngs.
Yeah.
On this team when it was extremely hard to be a fan. And
That's
what
crazy.
a waste. What a waste then of the rosters. And the Blue Jays never finished better than 3rd in those years when they had a Cy Young Award winner on their team. But I guess like this year we didn't finish higher than 3rd. Did we?
It's true. Oh, so maybe the Blue Jays winning a Cy Young is actually bad.
I mean, winning Cy Youngs in general isn't indicative of how successful your team is. Look at Jacob deGrom, arguably the best pitcher. Can't do anything with the Mets.
But it's just upsetting they can't take such an incredible piece of the puzzle that once every 5 days you have the best pitcher in baseball and you can't build a team around it.
I mean,
well, look at the MVP finalists this year. All six guys didn't make playoffs. Then Mike Trout, who's a perennial MVP.
That's true.
I mean, how long did we have Roy Halladay on the team? Right? That's a win.
I want to say like 10 years.
Right. That's a win every. That's a win every like 7 games. Let's just. I mean 5. Yeah, but you're gonna lose 1 or 2, right? So that's at least a win every 7 days, and you can't do anything with that. Had him in his best years, wasted him.
So 2003 was the year that Roy Halladay won his Cy Young. But the rest of the team, oh my God, remember Frank Catalanato? Like, that's the bullshit that was on the Blue Jays. I just see his stupid face. He looks like Boyle from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So I didn't post, if you're searching for it, to the 2003 Blue Jays roster. Your catcher was Greg Myers.
Oh.
You have Carlos Delgado, which amazing.
Yeah.
Orlando Hudson was your starting second baseman. Chris Woodward and his kleptomaniac wife, please go back in the archives if you want that story, was the shortstop. Eric Hinsky, former Rookie of the Year. At third base, you have Shannon Stewart as your starting left fielder, Vernon Wells as your starting center fielder, future Hall of Famer Reed Johnson as your right fielder, and Josh Phelps
as your designated hitter.
Was your DH with a sparkling 268 batting average and 20 home runs.
Damn.
Filling out your team was Frank Catalanato, Mike Bordrick, Tom Wilson, Bobby Kelty, Dave Berg, Kevin Cash, which, I mean, he's very successful, but not for playing. Howie Clark, Jason Worth, who went on to be just a lovely feller, and Ken Huckabee, with your pitchers being Roy Halladay, Corey Lytle. He's dead, right?
Who?
Did Corey Lytle die?
I don't think so.
Who flew their plane into the side of a building like right after 9/11? Kelvin Escobar, Mark Hendrickson, Jeff Tam, Josh Towers, Doug Davis. Ugh, I can't even go on with all of these.
Yeah, it's
Pete
hard.
Walker.
Ah, yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, Corey Lytle is dead.
There you go.
Let me just see if his death is correct. Yeah, so it was soon after 9/11, so it was investigated as 5 years after 9/11.
Yeah.
But I just remember it being investigated of like, oh my God, another plane flew into a building. Yeah, look at this. What a waste.
Yep.
What a fucking waste of ace pitchers. And I don't want this to happen to us as fans. Okay, so I watched the interview. They had him on Tim and Friends as we were watching the news break. And Dave and I both said he keeps talking about Toronto in the past tense.
Right.
And then after they had the interview, it was, I forget who the other guy talking with it, but Tim McAuliffe was like, he seemed very dejected, Tim, when he was talking about this interview.
Yeah.
And he was like, and they had all of the tweets from fans writing into the show about, did you notice he talked about Toronto in the past tense? I noticed when Tim asked him flat out, like, do you see yourself re-signing in Toronto? He said 3 times, I like Toronto, but
Huh.
Hmm.
So that's a no.
He said, I'm
Yeah.
enjoying testing the free agent market. I'm enjoying being wined and dined. And it's like, yeah, okay, there's no fucking
He's
way
not.
here.
He's gonna go to the fucking Yankees.
So that was going to be my question: is, do you see him resigning?
I want him to, but yeah, with the negative, the past tense, the buts, I don't know. I don't know.
So that led me down, and I was saying to Dave, who's the pitcher that like had a career year with the Jays and signed with someone really stupid afterwards? And I was like, I want to say it's Ted Lilly, and it was. So that led me down a Ted Lilly route, although he didn't sign with anyone too stupid at the time.
Do you mean
So
Theodore Roosevelt Lilly the Third? By the way,
So he had a career
name.
year with the Blue Jays. He was 15-13 with a 4.31 ERA, exceeding his previous career high of 12. He equaled a career high for starts. He nearly matched his career high in strikeout and innings pitched. He ranked first among the Blue Jays pitching staff in strikeouts, second only to Roy Halladay. He filed for free agency in 2006 and was one of the most sought-after pitchers. It was a very thin year. And on the morning of December 6th, he informed the Blue Jays, this is 2006, informed the Blue Jays he would not be returning to the club, thus rejecting a 4-year, $40 million deal. He cited a change in scenery as his reasoning. Later on that day, Lilly agreed to an identical 4-year, $40 million deal with the Cubs.
Crazy.
That is why I'm not optimistic.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's someone else I'm thinking of. It was AJ Burnett. It was the other one I was thinking of. Burnett finished 2008 with 18-10 record and established career highs in almost every single pitching category. This is his last year with the Jays. He set a career high with 18 wins, appeared in 35 games while starting 34. He pitched a career high in innings. He led the American League in strikeouts. He also led the American League in starts. But his 5-year contract with the Blue Jays allowed him to opt out at the end of the 2008 season, and he chose to do so, becoming a free agent, signing with
Yankees.
The
New York Yankees.
Just like Robbie Ray is going to.
I feel like this always happens. Okay, so first thing, predict who
Sorry, you cut out. What did you say?
Robbie Ray is signing with.
I'm saying the Yankees.
I'm going with the Red Sox.
Either way, I'm pissed.
I'm going to go with the Astros.
No, the Astros just signed Verlander to a ridiculous contract.
They need more. They need more than just Verlander.
They got a lot of young arms there. They're fine. Houston knows how to build pitching. That's why they're always contending.
My question, they build pitching by cheating. My question for Mark, apologies to you, Chris, is in the last 20 years, because it just feels like as a fan, the Raptors seem different. The Raptors seem to be able to draw talent. The Maple Leafs draw talent because we are the hockey mecca of the universe here. But the Blue Jays seem to lose it. If they build it, they lose it. In the last 20 years, can you name me some players who were either homegrown or had a career year when they came with the Blue Jays, the way like Marcus Semien or an AJ Burnett, and then re-signed with the Jays?
Oh, like someone came out from outside the organization.
Yeah, or someone who came up with the organization, became good, and as soon as they were out of contract, left the Jays. I'm thinking the only people I can think of would be Roy Halladay, Vernon Wells, although that turned out well. Donaldson signed
the first time.
Delgado. Donaldson signed his contract for 2 years after the MVP season.
Yeah.
Those are the only people I can think of.
Vernon Wells, when he has big year, got that contract.
Yep. But
Same with Rios.
How'd that turn out?
Well,
It's not about how it turned out. It's just
I know.
whether it happened. Because I mean,
it before.
We don't know if Ray's going to repeat this.
That's true.
Right?
So a couple things I've said before.
Let's not forget. Remember, a couple years ago, do you guys remember who won the Cy Young Award from the Boston Red Sox?
No.
Rick Porcello.
Right. And what's he
It
doing
means
now?
nothing. Yeah. And remember who the Jays got after he won his Cy Young Award and did shit with us or was mediocre compared to the Cy Young year, R.A. Dickey.
Right.
Hey, they just wasted him.
Always close with a Dickey.
Yeah.
They just wasted him. Just one fun stat is off of the 2014 Detroit Tigers pitching staff, there are now 5 Cy Young Award winners.
Wow.
Robbie Ray, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, David Price, and Rick Porcello.
Yeah.
Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer are the only ones to win with Detroit. The other 3 won with other teams, but they were all on the same team at the same year.
That's crazy.
Okay, so our other deep dive, which we have 5 minutes for, because we did this on purpose. Canada is on the verge of qualifying for the World Cup.
Yeah.
The
And rightly
men's
so.
World Cup.
The men's World Cup. Look at that snow, by the way. Look at the snow. Oh man, look, he's gonna fall in the snow. Yeah.
The elation of that win, even from Dave. It was last night and he just whooped and hollered for some reason. I was like, what the
Right.
fuck is happening? He said, Canada just scored. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So Canada has not qualified for a World Cup since 1986.
Mhm.
And that was their only one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the World Cup has been in existence since 1930.
Mhm.
So we are close to 100 years with an World Cup appearance.
Well, I mean, soccer's not really our thing historically.
So that's my question for you, Chris.
Mhm.
Well, I think it is changing historically because I think honestly the makeup, and this is my non-political white ass talking here. I think the makeup of Canada is changing.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are, we're a country of immigration, so people move here from other countries, and soccer is the most popular sport in the world because
And
Anywhere
people
in the
coming from other
world.
countries are bringing.
right anywhere in the world
That
you
love
just
the
need a
soccer
ball
with them.
and a ball and you can play soccer. Like that's all you need is a ball. So this is why, this is why it's so popular. But I think like you said, people bring
But I
their
think
love
it
for it
took
here.
the generation, and I don't even know if it is a generation, people like 15 years younger than us, if that's a full generation. It took that group of Canadians to come of age with the changing culture of Canada to be able to play
Yeah, because
on the stage.
15, 20 years ago, if you were a good athlete in Canada, you were playing hockey. There wasn't, you weren't playing anything else. You were playing hockey. And now I think the good athletes in Canada are at least playing more than just hockey. And this is why we're getting better NBA players out of Canada. And again, you look at something like the Raptors, that the Raptors being in Canada makes kids go, hey, I don't necessarily want to play hockey. Maybe I just want to play basketball. And, as much as I rag on MLS, but TFC is really popular.
I was just about to say, like, as much as we all shit on the Argos, the opposite of shit, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Eating, maybe, the opposite of shitting, is TFC. Like
Right.
the fever with which Toronto gets hyped. Like they do that parade march with the fucking Roman candles for just a random Tuesday game.
Right.
Like the hype around TFC is insane.
It's real, and that's only a good thing. Now listen, because you brought it up, and I just want to mention it. I saw a clip on Twitter today. 30 years ago today, so 1991, they played the Eastern Final, the Toronto Argonauts versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at Skydome in front of 50,000 people. What happened in 30 years when in 1991 you would fill the Skydome to the fucking brim?
I got it.
For the Toronto Argonauts, and now they're going to host these final this year. They're not even going to fill that stadium. That stadium's not even going to be full for these final.
I don't know if it's anything that did happen. I think it's what didn't.
Okay.
So 30 years ago, Chris, is your dad a CFL fan?
Not particularly.
Okay, my dad is. So we'll use my dad.
Okay.
Mark, your dad, no?
No.
So my dad is. My dad is a white, not Canadian born, but he's been here since he was like 2, so whatever. He's 71. So 30 years ago, he was 41.
That's my age.
He is. He was the market
Right.
that the CFL marketed to.
Right.
He is now 71, no longer going to games. He'll come once a year with me. But the CFL continues to still market to my dad. So I think they filled the stadium when they marketed to 30 to 40 somethings, and instead of continuing to market to 30, 40 somethings, they kept with that age group.
Okay.
So I've heard this. I apologize if I talked about this on the podcast before, but it's a relaunch, so I will. Heard this years and years ago. The problem with Avril Lavigne versus, let's say, a Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Avril Lavigne did not age with her fans.
Right.
So she is constantly mining the same age group.
Okay.
This is a very poor analogy, but I just wanted to point it out. Whereas Taylor Swift evolved and gets new fans and grew with her fans and changed her music.
And re-releases her music.
Whereas the CFL was like, nope, this is the age group I'm marketing to.
Okay.
And that's what I think. I think the CFL is like, here's our target audience, and they just never change.
Yeah.
We talked about when Dave did marketing for Wendy's, they pulled out of the CFL because they're like, this is too old.
Right.
Anyways,
it needs something. The CFL
look at
needs
us
something.
talking about the CFL when we start talking about soccer.
Should have been soccer. Well, I'm sorry.
The question that I will end on.
Oh, Mark has something to say, I think.
Oh, go ahead,
I was trying to jump in when you guys talking about the whole soccer thing.
All right,
it's not the demographic that is making Canada soccer better. It's the investment into the program, because let's not forget, we're always a multinational country. John Herdman, when he took over the women's national program, turned him into a powerhouse. Herdman is now leading the men's national program, and that's what's been the biggest difference for the men's team now. And when he equated to basketball, it wasn't necessarily just the Raptors. It was when Vince Carter became with the Raptors, superstar. That was the example that other kids could see, hey, you know what? I want to be like Vince Carter. And now with this generation, we've always had some good Canadian talent, but they've always played for other countries because there was never a good program to help develop it. Now we have a player like Alphonso Davies, who's one of the best midfielders in the entire world. And he's Canadian. And not a lot of people, not even like most casual people, sports fans don't even know that. You have to be like a hardcore soccer player to know that Alphonso Davies is a big deal, and he plays on one of the biggest teams in the world in Bayern Munich. So for him to play on Canada and be successful and lead this team, it's going to inspire that generation. So going forward, especially with John Herdman running the program, it's going to make Canada soccer that much better.
All right, so let me.
I think it's a bit. Sorry, guys. I think we have a nation bringing that affinity for a sport, and it is in the investment. Right, of kids saying like, oh, I can do that. This is you need kids to think it's cool.
Right. No, and that is the important thing. Now
it's why you guys were all Bulls fans in the early 90s, right? It's because like, oh, Jordan's awesome.
Jordan's pretty cool. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, right? I will probably see 10 more World Cups in my lifetime.
God willing, Chris. God willing.
Hopefully more, but as 10, maybe 12. Well, let's just say 12. I'm going to see 12. That puts me at 90-ish.
Great.
So let's say I see 12 more World Cups. Am I going to see a World Cup where Canada has a chance?
Oh.
And I'm not talking about qualifying. I'm just talking about a chance to win.
It depends. I mean, you got to invest into these athletes. I mean, if you look at just the 2010 World Olympics for Vancouver, years before that, they invested heavily into these athletes because they wanted to make that 2010 success.
Own the podium. Own the podium was the slogan.
And they led all countries in gold medals that year. It worked.
It was the first time ever, too, wasn't it? Oh, no, that can't be the case.
For Canada, yeah. Absolutely.
No, but for the home nation, but no, that can't be the case.
No.
I don't know.
United States.
Yeah, I said it, and then I'm like, wait, the U.S. is hosted, so that doesn't make
I think whatever investment Canada makes, I think European countries will invest more. The way, like, Canada was off the podium for a couple years in Olympic soccer or hockey, and we went, no, this is our thing.
This is us.
And then invested.
With women's hockey is that outside the U.S., Canada, maybe Sweden, none of those other countries put any money into their female athletes.
So I think it's
always the same two teams.
I think it's like Canada can be successful, but I think if they get a whiff of anywhere close, maybe they'll win a group. Maybe they'll make it to the playoffs. But I think other countries would be like, oh, hell no.
Look at what Vince Carter did to inspire. Like, there's a lot more Canadian NBA players now than there was ever before.
I don't remember Canadian NBA players when I was a kid.
Exactly.
Can you name?
I can name you one. Bill Wennington, starting center for the Chicago Bulls, because he played with the Bulls.
There you go. But like, and it's now normal for there to be Canadian. Do you remember Canadians in the NFL?
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
It was very exciting when there was a Canadian,
right?
Yeah.
And now we have like legit Canadian stars in the NFL.
I remember when I didn't follow football as well when I was a kid, I'd see a team playing when it was like the playoffs or the Super Bowl. I'd ask my dad, do either of these teams have a Canadian?
Right.
And that's who I would cheer for that day. And now it's like, oh, there's lots.
Yeah. So patriotic.
Right? Well, if I didn't have a dog in the fight, I needed something.
Yeah.
But I think about, Chris, you're with your question, and the Canadian rugby team, and that because I follow rugby probably a little bit more than soccer I did. And the Rugby World Cup, probably maybe two or three World Cups ago, when Canada was quite good. Yep. And then they eventually faced France.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, you thought you were good. You were kind of good.
As good as Canada was, there's always going to be South Africa, and there's always going to be New Zealand, and there's always going to be Australia. And it's like, God bless you. And I feel a bit that way about soccer. Like, good as Canada's going to be, there's always going to be Italy.
Yeah,
there's always going to be
Brazil.
Yeah. So, Chris, my question that we will end on, because ticking time bomb downstairs has started wiggling around. What needs to happen to make you care about soccer, if not this?
Oh, I don't think anything. I don't think anything.
Is that it? Is it truly nothing?
I just find the sport so mind-numbingly boring.
Even with Canada.
Even with you know what? We'll see, because apparently they're talking about doing a qualifier at Tim Hortons Field. So if they do
against the States too.
So if they do the qualifier at Tim Hortons Field, I'm gonna go, because it's Team Canada. I'll have first crack at tickets.
We should all go.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna go. I'll wear a Team Canada hockey jersey or something.
And that's likely gonna be in like February or March.
Oh, hopefully March.
Because that game against the States is in, I think, their 10th match, the 11th.
Yeah.
Because I know they'll play 2 matches in January, 2 in February, and 2 in March. Because there's only 6 games left.
March could be fine. I'll come if it's March.
March will be fine. Well, they're gonna do that outdoor hockey game there too. At Tim Hortons Field.
Right. Yeah.
Mark almost died. Any other sports news, gentlemen, before I go see to my time bomb downstairs?
Mark's time to shine.
Here we go.
Well, let's go with the hockey.
I was going to say the missing Chinese tennis player.
No.
Oof.
Crazy.
It's funny how, like, at the start of the year when the Leafs were like 2-4-1, people were losing their minds, and
it's over
now. Yeah.
It's over. Fuck it. Trade Marner. Trade everybody.
Yeah, get rid of Marner.
Yeah.
And then he reels up like 15 points in 3 games. Like, oh, right.
Oh,
right.
right.
We'll just say, and Chris, if I may speak on behalf of both you and myself, aside from Mark Bunn, this is why no one likes you, Toronto fans.
Yeah.
It's true.
But I think that's with any fan base. I think if we're like Pittsburgh.
No. I am in the San Jose Sharks subreddit. Yeah. And I can tell you that our fan base is not like that.
Burn the house down.
They don't care as much hockey as Canadians do. That's the thing.
Look at Vancouver. That is okay. Vancouver burns the city down when they lose in the Stanley Cup final.
That's what I'm saying.
You telling me that if Toronto gets to the Stanley Cup final and loses, that city's not going to burn the fuck down? Because I'm telling you,
if they game 7,
you better board your fucking windows up. If that happens,
it was also the way Vancouver lost, though. You have to it was a game 7. We're down like 3 games.
Yeah.
Like it was upsetting.
No, they were up 3-2 going to game 6, lost it.
Yeah.
And then that same year they won the President's Trophy, so they were technically the best team in hockey.
President's Trophy doesn't mean shit.
Oh, remember BJ Ryan? Sorry, I had a website up that we didn't.
Yeah.
PJ Ryan.
I had a website, best and
Had a
worst.
great
free
year at
agent
the Orioles
signings.
and then blew his arm out with the Jays.
Best free agent signings. We have Roger Clemens, Paul Molitor, Dave Winfield, Jack Morris, Scott Downs. Yeah, okay, I'll take that one. Worst, Eric Hansen, 1995. Too early for me. BJ Ryan, Ken Daly in 1990. Corey Koski, speaking Canadian.
Canadian.
And rounding up the list, Frank Thomas.
Oh, the big hurt.
The big hurt.
They had a bobblehead for him, like ready, and
Yeah.
like the next year, and then they got rid of him, and then it's like, oh no, we got to get rid of this bobblehead.
Can't.
Dave has a Frank Thomas jersey, and it's amazing. Honorable, terrible mentions. Marty Cordova. I don't know if you guys remember him. I liked him because he was handsome. He's made a butt ton of money because he was one of the early investors in UFC.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Kerry Leitenberg and Tomo Oka.
Yes, I remember Tomo. Obviously.
Yeah. Obviously. Okay, well, on that racist note, thanks, Scotch Sporting, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube's, if you want to look at all the stats and fun things we posted, like Chris's amazing subject for today. Otherwise, thanks for listening, everybody. Marty Cordova.